Greetings again. Another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. So this is show number 70.2. All is a blessing. Please come on back. I pray you've been patient through the technical delay. I've rebooted, I've refreshed. I'm going to begin the show anew and pray that this is a better viewing and audio experience for everyone who's chosen to join me here at high noon U.S. Central Standard Time. Divine, all blessed peace and love, joy and prosperity, supreme divinity, welcome, elevation, revelations, manifestation, greetings, neophyte, Bokur, tourists, all is a blessing. You are now enjoying the Divine Prince live, Pan-African spiritualist, practitioner, author, and advisor, Elagun Oloye, Hoodoo Obeya Bokur. Greetings, Martha Martinez. Greetings. Thank you so much, Kiona, for sticking through this with me. I am Pan-African spiritualist, practitioner, author, and advisor. I am here to share with you in all things spiritual, mystical, metaphysical, cosmic, evolutionary, revolutionary, healing, and holistic resonance with the universe. A mantra is something that you say that creates and recreates your reality. And so I say, like bereavement, for instance. And so I say, I've rebooted. I've had my internet looked at in the most recent days might be going on that are affecting why we're getting this kind of reception. And my modem is even now right underneath my computer. We're going to move forward. I don't want to allow the buffering to become the whole show. And if we get to a place where we can't broadcast during, because of buffering, I'll just stop and I'll come back again. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about spirit and the nature of spirits and in every city in America. We have things going on in our country right now. And 2020 is a year, is a note, is an octave, is a vibration that requires the Arumula. What exactly are your questions about the hand of Arumula specifically? I'm well versed in, we had buffering early, as Oba Obatala to the U.S. said on his most recent broadcast here with us in this sacred space. There is indeed no Ifa without voodoo, and vice versa. There is no voodoo without Ifa. And so when we look at Arumula, specifically the hand of Ifa. Now, Ifa, and this is controversial, but some of you have heard me say this before. There was a time when our foster kin and myself and many others from West Africa did a weekly, than just Wednesday. And we've talked about the differences in terms of initiation in Nago or in West African-based traditions, in Oyo land, in Osharia, Kandable, and how Ifa is now manifesting here in the West. And so now you hear everybody getting handed Ifa. And handed Ifa is what governs your destiny in a tradition. Doesn't automatically make you a Babalawo, doesn't automatically make you Ian Nifa. But there should be gifted with the receiving of a hand of Arumula. Commonly called hand of Ifa, certain implements that are utilized in the determination to then determine other points of your journey, other parts of the body, if you will, that make up your journey. If you look at your journey as having a head and arms and legs and authentic hand of Ifa, or mobility, to much of anything in the tradition, other than having the necessary tools for your governing the aspects of of your destiny. Um, some of that is masked as la tet in Haitian voodoo, which is the cleansing lave in French, the cleansing or the washing of something. There are those who will take the words, the items, the tools, the implements, and you know, use them as sort of a dressing. A qualified E5 practitioner under the sound of my voice already knows what I'm saying, already knows what's being omitted, already knows to the nth degree what and why it's being omitted. So hopefully you're asking from either a perspective of someone who's in the tradition yet. So I'm telling you, there are other ceremonies that go hand in hand with that. At least two. At least two. I would say in my house it's a triad that go hand in hand together. Yoruba-based Ifa practice and tradition, and that's the beginning of your journey in voodoo, Haitian voodoo, even Louisiana voodoo to some degree. But there's a great deal of study and initiation and practice that goes hand in hand with that. For instance, ancestors. I talk a great deal about ancestors and lineage because lineage has everything to do with what Hand Ifa means to you and what it means to the people with whom you are initiating with, because they should be operating under that tradition, such as when we say Obia, there's a Caribbean connection to that. So we start looking for Caribbean lineage, bloodline, ancestral connections to that practice and or access to that lineage. So lineage is critical no matter who you are, no matter what your ethnicity. Coming into this, lineage is critical to how the hand of Arumi African voodoo in Togo, in Benin, in Ghana, it's going to be called Fa. They're not going to have an Orumila in the ethno-cultural demonstration of the usage of Fa. So words have power, words have meaning, and words like an encyclopedia, like an old telephone, we roll it on dubs now. And so there's this sort of free-for-all thing, and this is probably not you or with the sort of Black witch movement, which political social way in social media, we began to then see sort of this revival, if you will, of something that people like myself and Papa Candelo and then there weren't as many of us were coming out of and sort of take on this platform, at least in the social media strat, to your grandparents, to your co-workers, how many of them really know and see and understand voodoo and any branch of ATR as indeed your real documentary for avoiding titles, for avoiding tradition and lineage and protocol and rules. And so we're also seeing sort of a free-for-all of magic, even at the pop cultural level, even at the government level, even at the, you know, chaos magic and just chaos without any real, indeed, seeking some kind of practice to practice, favorable, popular word usage to the next, and not really dropping real roots, whether it be Ifa, urban guerrilla, whether it be Hoodoo or Voodoo or Obia, Kiona or any of the other traditions that ride under the umbrella. We tend to reduce them down, water them down, meaning gets lost, true definition gets lost, and then there comes a point where people create their own. And so people create their own idea of what hand of Ifa should look like. And it's more than just, you know, wearing the right color beads on your wrist. You got your beads. Where you received your beads, any of the wisdom that should be in your head. Doesn't carry any of the code words that should be in your head. Doesn't carry any of the practice. I'm often alarmed by the people who not only claim to have and have received and are in the process the craft store and buy a certain color bead to make my own. We're even seeing now, because the bead jewelry has become so popularized, that everyone's wearing bead jewelry now. Your hip hop artists, your actors, your authors moved away from coded color combinations of beaded jewelry. All ignorance across the board, and just the wearing of something now around your wrist just gives that look, that energy of that. To the closed third eye, present the look of spiritual growth. Wearing a cross might, wearing a cross, a crucifix, an ankh doesn't tell me any more about your knowledge of religious symbolism, a Kemetic symbolism, Roman Catholic symbolism, etc., than anyone who does not. So just the tools of Orunmila are now not enough if people are looking to sort of set themselves apart from the group, from the pack, from the trending popular usage of many of these items. So there are things that go on your wrist, beloved urban gorilla, have already happened before someone receives a hand of Ifa. There are traditions that come with that, practices that come with that, that establish taboos. Receiving a hand of Ifa. The receiving of the hand of Ifa should be an outward sign that someone has godparents. If anything else, it should say, I have godparents. And so with godparents then should come very specific word uses and information. Urban Gorilla asks, is there a difference between hoodoo, voodoo, and fa? Absolutely. I've answered some of that, but I'm of it. Because whether you're talking about a Khan, Fan, Eve, Igbo, etc., these traditions, the Twi, the Kwa, these ethnic groups already have their lineage in place, their connection to who their ancestors are, how that is acknowledged and celebrated in that culture. Now we're talking about pre-colonization. We're talking about pre-interruption from outside influences, okay? A specific training, a specific initiation, a specific knowledge of something. And so you might go to more than one locations to then gain layers of knowledge. Now you insert the Middle Passage. Now you insert slavery and these traditions coming to the West. So if landed in Brazil, where they have candomblé, landed in Cuba, where they have lucumi, and Santeria, and Puerto Rico, and Dominican Republic now have 21 divisions. If you don't already know, Dominican Republic, Haiti share an island. They're not politically the same, spiritually the same, culturally the same, but they share an island in Haiti. So this is where it gets confusing. But this is where your level of knowledge becomes more apparent. Because the more you study, the more you've been made aware, the more cultural nuance, without someone having to say anything, without someone having to, in a specific way in which the order of words are put together. So now you're talking about the separation of Ifa, or Ifa as we know it as a Voodoo, as we know it as a practice. So you have a West African manifestation, the root, modern day, and ethnic nuances that separate lineage, path, practice, tradition. So West African Voodoo, Haitian Voodoo, Dominican Republic Voodoo, Louisiana, Mississippi, yet other traditions, indigenous traditions to the American age and other implements in the practice. That's introducing its root in the Botanica. Prior to the Botanica, Hoodoo was what we could create from nature, what we could harvest from nature, what we could manufacture for ourselves, candle making, oils and buckeyes and hazelnuts and other things in nature, and then applying that to the hoodoo, applying that to the voodoo, applying that to the ethnic practice that now had to be hidden, that now had to be masked because of enslavement, white supremacy, racism during that time. And it's been suggested that they also may have corrupted a word to sort of create hoodoo. But I'm more inclined to teach as my elders taught, come out in public and identify anything as enslaved African. We could lose our lives, we could be beheaded, we could be lynched, we could be maimed, our family could suffer for it. And so not only in the pronunciation of words. So many people have come up believing that hoodoo is somehow just an appropriation of voodoo, a mispronounced back to African knowledge of voodoo. We would have not had access to palm oil, for instance, readily available during enslavement. So certain substitutions to mask in order to hide, and then those eventually became day work week, beloved, between hoodoo and voodoo, and a clear distinction between voodoo practice. Fa is used in all these traditions up until even till today. It's not as publicized, it's not as glamorized, as I've said in previous shows, because of the language barrier, the French, and then the Fan, and the other languages that are not as common online and in the New World groups. So there's some cultural, historical, ethno-cultural distinctions between what hoodoo, voodoo, and the Fa or Ifa is, and then there's that political, commercial aspect. Thank you so much in reposting my PayPal information as well as my website information. Thank you for inviting people to participate. And I'm going to be ending in probably the next 8 or 9 minutes. So please, all is truly and indeed a blessing. Thank you, Urban Gorilla, for participating and actually having questions to ask and being a part of keeping the flow of the show moving forward. If no one has a question or comment, remember that you can reach me with your private request at www.houseofthedivineprince.com. And of course, divine is spelled Divine. I know there was some problem with my every year. There's always a problem with the internet during Mardi Gras and Carnival, but my email worked fine and it's still working fine. And VINEPRINCE houseofthedivineprince.com. That is my private dedicated email. And it sends all the communications directly to my phone, directly to my desktop, directly to home base. So I appreciate you. I also appreciate those of you who are using Google Business. Google Business has been a real powerful tool for me and the national family. So I'm grateful for those of you who do search me in Google Maps, in Google search, and look for House of the Divine Prince, the Divine Prince in New Orleans, Louisiana, Hoodoo Central in New Orleans, Louisiana. I certainly appreciate you, and I'm grateful for your constant love and support. So please do continue to reach out and recipes. Here at YouTube Live, I'm at youtube.com/Voodoo Thai, V like Victor, OO, D like David, OO, T like Tom, YE. And I can also be found at Blog Talk Radio, BLOG, blogtalkradio.com. / the divine prince. All is truly and indeed a blessing. Until next time. Ashe, Aibobo, Asheo.